What's going on, everyone? So I'm at the range. We're going to do an accuracy test to see how much more accurate the MCK is versus just the handgun as far as I go. Now, this could vary from person to person. Someone that's more accurate with a pistol might do a lot better than I'm going to do. But I'm going to test it 5 yards, 10 yards, and then 20 yards with a pistol. I'm going to try to film like the whole process, start to come back and everything, and then do the same thing with the MCK. So I've got 15 in each of these. I'm going to start with the Glock and just by itself, and we're at 5 yards. So at 5 yards, that is my grouping with just the pistol. That was a little flyer, but 5 yards is 5 yards. So now we're at 10 yards. I'm going to shoot at the top left and see how it does. So at 10 yards, that was my 5 shots. These are my first shots when I'm getting here. I'm not practicing and kind of getting my aim back up. I'm just kind of rushing through it. So this is what I look like at 10 yards for that, that particular 5 rounds. So now we're down to 20 yards. I'm gonna shoot at the bottom right and see how it lands up. So, see what happens. So that is all at 20 yards with just the handgun. So let's switch over to the MCK. All right, so now we're over to the MCK. I've got it set to 5 yards. I'm gonna be shooting the middle target for the first one, the bottom left for 10 yards, and then the bottom right for 20 yards. I put some shoot and see targets on there so we'd see it better. Now I got it set down to 10 yards. I'm gonna shoot the bottom left one and see how it does. So now we're down at 20 yards. I'm gonna shoot the bottom right one, and then I'll bring it back and we'll see how we did. I was shooting way too high. Only one of them even hit the corner of the target. So I'm going to redo that, only because I think that's because of my red dot, not so much the MCK. Probably got to put the magazine in first, right? See how that one came out. So we got, I think, 2 in there, and then I had 1 fly. Those were from the last time. One thing I am not good at is accuracy while mag dumping with just a pistol. So I'm gonna do that right now with the MCK, and we're gonna see how different it is. at 7 yards. Yeah, that was the results of the MCK versus just the 43X. I wasn't like taking time. I was just trying to do a very quick, you know, closer to a real life situation where you're not really focusing and really wanting to make sure that you're on spot. So a little bit, some of the things were a little bit different than I expected. Some of them were better than I expected. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at these. But so this side is with just the 43X. That's my 5-yard grouping right there. My 10-yard, which was kind of scattered. And then my 20-yard, which was, I never even hit this once. I went off to the sides and down here. So that is with just the pistol. Now over here, I redid the 20 yards because my 0 on my red dot, I was zeroed in for like 7 yards. So I was off quite a bit, more than I really expected to be. But so my 5 yards here, honestly, were no better than just with a pistol. If not, maybe a little bit worse because these were grouped together a little bit more compared to these. But so 5 yards, I didn't really have a gain there. 10 yards, pretty good gain. I mean, I'm gapped out pretty far here. And then these are not a super tight group, but much better than over there with the pistol. And then 20 yards, whenever I adjusted the red dot and redid it, we had a scatter like that with just the pistol. And then over here, I had 2 over to the left and 3 to the right. Now I can't really see 20 yards away that well. My eyesight's not good, and I'm also running a very cheap red dot. So my visibility is kind of limited when you're starting to look at like 20 yards. But that compared to this is much better. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as targets at those different ranges. Now, talking shooting quickly, I didn't do it with the pistol. I should have done it with the pistol. I did shoot quickly with just the just the MCK, and my grouping out of a 12, is either 10 or 12 round magazine, was pretty small at 7 yards. So that was just done with this. And so that's kind of like what you can expect. Now, I'm not a extremely good shooter. I just do it for fun. And these were my results. Now, I could have taken my time and been a lot more precise, and I'll do that in another video. I want to test exactly how accurate you can get with this. So that's going to come up in the future. But those are just kind of some of my comparisons to kind of see what you would be looking at if you ran one of these versus, you know, just running a pistol. So that was my thoughts on it. I will be going over my opinion on the sling. This is the one that MCK actually makes. And so this single point sling. I'll be going over my opinion on this and then going over these fiber optic flip sights. But before I go over these, I've got a new riser that is lower just so I can co-witness with these, and I will be testing all of that out. So yeah, that's what I got for you today. I hope you found it some good information from it. This is just a quick test. This is something I've been wanting to do, just kind of see a comparison of myself with a handgun versus MCK. Now these results may vary. Someone that is really good with a pistol might do a lot better than I did. Now someone that is not good with a pistol at all, but really good with like a more of a rifle setup, might do phenomenal with this. So that's just kind of my test based off of my ability. I'm just kind of like your average shooter. So yeah, I hope you guys did find it informational. If you would, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out a ton. Other than for that, I'll catch y'all later.